Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. Well, the motorsport season is really starting to get into full swing. Not only do we have the start of the Formula 1 Championship, but we also have feeder series Formula 2 kicking off in Bahrain. No Mick Schumacher this year, but plenty of young talented drivers to look at. So let's do a preview and take stock of all the driver changes for 2021. I'll put my predictions for the champion at the end, but leave yours in the comments. So let's take a look at Formula 2 2021. Remember to subscribe and let's begin.
Welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
Trident. Trident have finished last every year since the Formula 2 series began in 2017. Roy Nassani is actually one of the better drivers they've had, and I'll give you a moment to let that sink in. Marino Sato has been retained for a second year, despite only scoring a single point at Mugello in 2020. Replacing Roy Nassani, who honestly didn't do much better, is Dutchman Bent Viskel. He had a decent enough year in Formula 3 last year with the MP Motorsport team, but this is going to be another rough year for Trident, who will only score the minimum of points and once again finish last. HWA Race Lab. All new, all Italian lineup for HWA Race Lab. It's a strange situation for the team. In fact, I don't know if anyone has done this before, but Matteo Nannini, nephew of Formula 1 driver Alessandro Nannini, will be racing in both Formula 2 and Formula 3 for HWA Race Lab. I mean, it's a good way to get experience, but Nannini has only had one season of Formula 3 behind him, and he only got 2 points finishes in Spain last year. Now, one of them was a podium, and he's had some good drives, but this means he's almost involved in every race weekend in 2021, and that sounds like a lot. He's joined by Eliseo De Leda, who isn't very good and probably won't score any points. Some strange choices here, but I presume HWA know what they're doing. Probably. Campos. It was just a couple of months ago that team founder Adrian Campos passed away. Deeply sad that he won't see his team move into 2021. At least he got to see Jack Aitken make his Formula 1 debut, I guess. But Aitken is not back with the team for 2021, which is a shame as he scored all their points last year. His replacement whilst he made his Formula 1 jump was Swiss driver Ralph Boschung, and he is back with a full-time drive. He's been around this level for a while and has never really done much, but he is returning to Campos after racing for them in 2017. Replacing Guilherme Semaya is another Brazilian, Gianluca Petikov, who was last year's Formula Regional European champion, and he is just skipping Formula 3 and jumping straight into Formula 2. It'll be a steep learning curve for the 18-year-old, but I'd bet my last pound coin on him doing better than Semaya did in 2020. Dams. They have rid themselves of the curse that is Sean Galil. Honestly, he was a driver who I had no idea how he kept getting work. He was racing at this level for like 6 years, debuting in GP2 back in 2015. He never finished higher than 15th in the championship. I can't think of a driver less capable of winning than Sean Galil. He won the 2021 Asian Endurance Championship with Jota and will be in the World Endurance Championship for the rest of the year. Jerry Vips and Dan Ticktum have changed teams too, so a new lineup for the French team. Replacing Galil as a results nightmare is Roy Nassani, another driver who somehow keeps getting work despite a lack of results, including in Formula 1. He's joined by Marcus Armstrong, who looked impressive in Formula 3 when he finished second in 2019, but struggled to impress with ART in Formula 2 in 2020. Both drivers should be eager to impress in 2021, but I'm not sure they will. Chirou's racing system. I really liked Luis Delatraz. He was a capable midfield racer, but he's gone to the European Le Mans series with the team WRT, and we will probably never hear from him again. Pedro Piquet too has left, citing a lack of funding, so again 2 new drivers. David Beckman had a decent year in Formula 3 with Trident in 2020, getting a couple of wins and podiums, and finishing the year 6th. He has the potential to do a decent job for Chirou's. Unlike teammate Guilherme Semaya, he scored no points in 2020 with Campos. In fact, he didn't finish any higher than 14th all year. He's not very good and will be looking to score his first points as a bare minimum. MP Motorsport. Matt Tsushita took a surprise win for MP last year, but both him and his mid-season replacement Giuliano Alesi have left for Japan, and their teammate Felipe Drugovich, who had a good first year in Formula 2 taking 3 wins, has also jumped ship. Richard Verschoor has spent the last 2 years with MP down in Formula 3 and did okay, but I think it helps both the team and himself are Dutch. Lirim Zendeli is about the same level as Verschoor, but did take a win last year in Formula 3. It's not a lineup that stands out as too spectacular, but these are 2 good young drivers, maybe ones for the future, and they will score points and maybe podiums. ART Grand Prix. For some reason it just didn't work out for Marcus Armstrong with ART last year. I think he's a good driver, but despite a second place in the first race of 2020, he struggled. He is replaced by young Frenchman Theo Pourchaire. The 17-year-old was a real standout talent in Formula 3 with ART in 2020, finishing the championship in second place with a couple of wins. Now in Formula 2, he again could be a race winner and be up for regular podiums. Christian Lundgaard remains with the team after a good first year. He again will win races, but I can see him being a real challenger for the championship. Lundgaard will finish in the top 5, whilst this will be a learning year for Pourchaire. High-Tech Grand Prix. High-Tech had a good year in 2020 with wins for both Nikita Mazepin and Luca Ghiotto. Both drivers have gone. Mazepin has somehow wormed his way into Formula 1, whilst Ghiotto will have to settle for DTM. Liam Lawson is a good replacement, took 3 wins in Formula 3 last year and was often unlucky. He can be a challenger. Yuri Vips may be less proven, but he did take a few wins in Formula 3 in 2019 with High-Tech and scored a podium at Mugello with Dams in Formula 2 last year. The Estonian driver has always done well, and it will be a good experience to get a full season under his belt. 2 good drivers for High-Tech, and it should be a good year. Carlin. Carlin had a really good year in 2020 with Yuki Tsunoda taking 3 wins on his way to 3rd. He may have gone to pastures new, but Jahan de Rivela remains with the team for a second year. He took the final win of 2020 and will be looking to keep that form going. De Rivela is a really good driver. He really impressed me in Formula 3 in 2019, and I'd expect top 5 finish for him in 2021. He's joined by Dan Ticktum, who also took a win with Dams in 2020. He needs a little bit more consistency, but he's another one who will be near the front of the field. Uni Virtuosi Racing. I thought this team had the best driver lineup in 2020. Guan Yu Zhou is a great driver, but had some bad luck on the way to a single win and 6th in the championship, whilst Callum Ilott fought for the title but had to settle for 2nd. Unlike Zhou, Ilott does not return. He is the Ferrari reserve Formula 1 driver for 2021, but Guan Yu Zhou is back and is my pre-season favourite for the championship. He's ready for Formula 1 and he can prove it in 2021. He's my pick. He's joined by Felipe Drugovich, who was a bit of a surprise package in 2020 with MP Motorsport. Despite struggling in Formula 3 in 2019, he managed 3 wins in Formula 2 in 2020. It was only enough for 9th in the championship, but he showed a lot of fight and promise in the races he did well at. He made mistakes elsewhere and is a bit of a mixed bag, but I think 2021 is going to be Uni Virtuosi's year, with drivers and teams championship and Zhou on his way to a seat at Alpine in Formula 1 for 2022. Prima Racing. The team to beat for so many years, it's difficult to bet against Prima, despite the fact they have lost last year's champion Mick Schumacher, who is the last of our drivers to move up to Formula 1. Oscar Piastri is a fine replacement. He was champion of Formula 3 last year, handily beating his teammates. It's not a case of can he win the championship, but should he win. He is still very young and there won't necessarily be a space on the Formula 1 grid for him in 2022. He wants to avoid ending up like Nick de Vries and never getting his F1 opportunity. As for Robert Schwartzman, another man who won Formula 3 back in 2019, he had a good first go at Formula 2 in 2020, finishing 4th, and will be looking to do even better this year. Prima are probably still the team to beat and the smart money is on them, but Formula 2 usually provides chaos and it's going to be an exciting year. So a lot of really good young talent lining up on the grid for 2021. It's honestly one of the hardest championships to pick a winner from, just because there are so many good drivers. If I had to pick, well, Robert Schwartzman, Jehan de Ruvela and maybe Liam Lawson are good bets, but I'm going definitely for Guan Yu Zhou. I have said for the last 2 years he has what it takes to be the first Chinese Formula 1 driver, and he can begin that journey in 2021 by winning the Formula 2 series this year and moving up to Alpine in 2022. So with that, thank you for watching, leave a comment, remember to subscribe, like and share the video, and have a good one.